Hello everyone, myself Uday Datrak. I am planning to teach 100 plus unique web application security issues in just 20 hours. You don't need to have any basic skills, you don't need to have any programming knowledge. With this course, you can easily get a job on penetration testing or cyber security or security testing, guys. Start watching from lesson 0, guys. Otherwise, you may understand the lessons, but you may not be creative. Like if you watch from lesson 0, you can be creative to find more number of security issues. I'll be uploading daily 1 or 2 videos, guys. I have already uploaded 60 plus videos. Now let's talk about another security issue, polyglot polyglot XSS. Polyglot XSS means polyglot cross-site scripting. We already spoke cross-site scripting for at least for 2 hours. We understood like how to bypass them. We understood like reflector cross-site scripting, stored cross-site scripting, and how to bypass the like blacklisting and firewall bypass using intruder and using some payloads, guys. Now polyglot XSS means we call this as a payload, guys. For example, script. Whenever we check for cross-site scripting, we enter as script alert 123 script tag, guys. So we consider this as an attack vector, guys. So attack vectors are considered as payloads kind of thing. Okay. Now this is simple like HTML tags or script tags to execute the script and to show the pop-up. But if the website is blocking such script tags, we use the polyglot XSS because it is a mechanism we use a combination of elements from different languages, guys. I'll write it down so that this all together is HTML tags. The web application will understand it and they may block it sometimes. But if you use the combination of elements from different languages, so there are some chances that we can bypass it. So I am showing you some of the payloads, guys. Like these are the ones like payloads. If you could see, let me show you one simple small payload, guys. My favorite one, which always used to if there is any firewall, then I will use this particular one to check for this, like to bypass whitelisting kind of thing. This is one of the example. First I will see whether the data is reflecting back or not. Yes, now the data is reflecting back. Now can you see, guys, the script is executed. One, if I want to print the cookie values, you also know that alert. I'm just this is the script. You can see now it will print the cookie values at this moment. Maybe I did not spelling mistake. It always happens with me. .q. It is better to copy paste the payload, guys, because one small character missing, then the script cannot execute. Can you see? Like it, the alert is there, but it's not printing the value. Now if you could see, there is no cookie values at this moment here. I just cleared the history, browser history before giving. That's the reason it was not printing. So the script is executed. So this is how you're gonna check, guys. If you could see, I have some of the payloads here. We are using some different concepts like JavaScript, like comment lines, and like we call percentile 0D percentile 0A as CRLF, like carriage return line feed. I'll talk about this. We can use this for like splitting attacks, which I'll talk about in later sessions. This is something interesting. So let me copy paste this. Yes, so you don't have to report the issue separately, guys, saying that it is one issue is reflected cross-site scripting and another thing is like polyglot cross-site scripting. No, both are same. The thing is that if the basic scripts are getting blocked, then what we're gonna do is like, if this basic script, then we use the combination of elements from different languages to make sure that we bypass that. And before executing this, what is the important thing guys, you should notice, like before executing this payload, if you could see, you should understand, let's say there is a input field asking for the username field, right? What is the input field name? It was asking here first name, like, okay. Now some web servers will limit the number of characters to first name to 40 characters. That is common in most of the websites guys. But what is the length of this payload guys? If you could see the number 77 here, that means this only this piece of this part will be accepted by the application and this will be completely removed. So you cannot execute this polyglot. So before the polyglot payloads are little big in length, so make sure that you understand, you try to know the like length of the this particular input field. In order to know what you're gonna do first, like simply copy the length and see, yeah, it is reflecting. And what is this length guys? Simply paste in notepad to see, like, okay, 105 characters. Okay, it is accepting around 105 and see, like it can accept around 200 characters. So I'll copy paste 2 times. Yeah, Control A, Control C. This is how you're gonna check. You don't need the mouse to waste time, and even if it comes in the next line, that's okay, that's fine. 210 characters. Yeah, the application can also take the input of 210 characters and prints on the response. So now you are good to go to check with different polyglot lengths, because what happens, like if the length is limited to 40 characters itself, then it's waste of checking for all these kind of polyglot XSS payloads guys. Can you see? As I told you before, we just don't need the pop-up itself. Sometimes we can execute something like click me kind of button too. So this is also, the application is vulnerable to like reflected cross-site scripting. You should check this when you check for reflected cross-site scripting and you can't find it, then you try to use this polyglot XSS mechanism guys. If you find the cross-site scripting, then you don't need to use this approach. This is just for like advanced level kind of thing. That's it guys.